Dear world, how many times have you been walking along and seen a friend approaching from the opposite direction? You shouted a quick, "Hey, how's it going?" and received an equally enthusiastic, "Fine," before disappearing from each other's sight and continuing on with your life as though nothing had happened. How many million times does this happen each day? We tolerate countless types of these conversations each and every day in our regular day lives. But is this how real relationships were meant to be? I don't think so. If your casual relationships are anything like mine, they lack substance, intentionality, and most importantly, sincerity. In an age where meaningful connections may be difficult to find, a true friend and ally can mean the world. We all need a shoulder to cry on, a friend to help us back up, a friend to trust. We all need someone to be there in our times of need, and the world would be a much better place if people would simply be more sincere. Acts of insincerity are rampant throughout our culture today. Consider the best friend who replies, "Oh yeah, that denim jumper looks great on you." Or the 10-year-old who tells his mom, "Sure, I'd love to clean the bathroom." Or how about the student who replies, "Of course I'm fine. I've got everything under control." When did dialogue turn into biting sarcasm? When did honest opinions become repressed? We see this insincerity not only in our words, but also in our actions. How many times have we treated someone to dinner, but expected a favor of them in return later? How many times have we had a waitress be overly nice and prompt, not because she actually cared, but because she wanted a large tip or a promotion? And how many times as children have we begrudgingly mumbled, "I'm sorry," simply because our parents or teacher made us? Dear world, sincerity has faded from our culture as of late. Today the word sincere is casually tossed around as a hasty closing line in an email with "Sincerely yours," or as a corny thank you card with "Our sincere thanks," or as an excuse with "Our sincerest apologies." True sincerity, however, goes much deeper. True sincerity is being genuine, truthful, and straightforward. True sincerity is meaning what you say and saying what you mean. Real sincerity is the absence of pretense and deceit. At the heart of the matter, sincerity is being honest and intentional in all words and actions. The word sincere is derived from the Latin word sincerus, meaning clean or sound. An old and fanciful etymology, however, places the root of the word in the ancient marble quarries of Rome. Dishonest stone dealers masked the marble's flaws with wax. The act became illegal, and the Roman Empire decreed that all marble must be sincera, meaning without wax. So to be sincere is to be authentic and genuine. A wise man once agreed with this premise. He reflected upon Philippians 4:8, which states, "Whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things." This man created a list of 13 virtues which he believed, if followed, would lead to a more admirable character. Among these virtues on the list were frugality, temperance, humility, as well as sincerity. Regarding this virtue, he stated, "Use no hurtful deceit, and if you speak, speak accordingly." Though this man wrote this list while only in his 20s, it is readily apparent the wisdom that Benjamin Franklin had when doing so. But why is sincerity so important? Why would historian Thomas Carlyle write, "Sincerity is the first characteristic of all men in any way prominent"? Dear world, imagine what could possibly happen if people simply meant what they said. No more "good job, Einstein." No more "smooth move." No more "so glad you could join us." No more insincerity. What would happen if, for once, politicians didn't tell us exactly what we wanted to hear? What would happen if they said, "Our country is not in good shape right now. We have severe debt, and we need to fix the problems that we have created. I'm not going to be able to give you everything that you want, and you're not going to be happy with every decision that I make. but I'm going to do what I believe is best for our country. But what if sincerity and trust came back into relationships, and we knew, for once, that whenever a friend said something to us, it was the truth, and that they meant it? Wouldn't relationships become more intentional, and stronger, and once again, meaningful? Being sincere, however, is not so easy, and has its risks. This could be why George Bernard Shaw wrote, "It is dangerous to be sincere, unless you are also stupid." No one likes to be told the bare-faced truth, to hear, "That shirt isn't very flattering," to hear, "I'm not having any fun at this party." But sometimes the truth simply needs to be told. Holding back the truth does nothing except hold us back as well. As the old saying goes, honesty is the best policy. Honesty is that solid foundation upon which relationships are built. Flattery, lies, and hypocrisy are all hollow. You can build on them for a short while, but in the end, it will cave in. So why build a shell that won't last? When tempted by the convenience of a white lie, resist. Instead, seek the honesty and truth, as well as the silver lining in every situation. Always seek good in others, as well as yourself, in all situations. Let everything you say or do come from the heart and be sincere. Through this, our relationships can become healthier and our lives can become more meaningful. Dear world, the next time you see that friend walking your way, don't just casually yell, "Hey, how's it going?" and then continue on with your life. Instead, have the desire to stop, to listen, to care. And instead of saying, "Oh, I'm fine," be honest, be sincere. Tell them, "My life is pretty miserable right now. I have a 10-page paper due tomorrow, I haven't had a good night's sleep in days, and I have no idea what my major is." Allow others into your life to support you in your time of need. Francis Bacon wrote, "The worst solitude is to be destitute of sincere friendship." No person was meant to go through this world on their own. We need our friends to be present and honest, in the good times and the bad, through the thick and the thin. In 1808, the Methodist circuit rider George Walker wrote a sermon claiming that sincerity is not so much a distinct virtue of itself, but rather a general quality which gives a stamp, a value, and a very being to all the virtues. In 1908, William G. Bessler, president of the New Jersey Central Railroad and pioneer in the aeronautics industry, said, "It is the marvel of human nature that so priceless a jewel is so easily achieved. All that a man must do to make friends is to be sincere." But what will history record for 2008? Will sincerity reclaim its rightful place as the value esteemed by all, or will it fade into oblivion, deemed inconsequential and unimportant? Dear world, now is the time to put sincerity back where it belongs, in everyday relationships between everyday people. Remember the words of Charles Spurgeon, "Sincerity makes the very least person to be of more value than the most talented hypocrite." Raise the bar high and act worthy of yourselves. It doesn't take a hero to be sincere, only a desire to rise above paltry mediocrity. Treat others the way you would want to be treated, and strive for more meaning, more earnestness, and more sincerity in all your words and actions. Sincerely, Ben Somerville.